Okay, so I'm gonna close that.
Is it just 3 in person?
I think so. Yeah.
I
That's
would
what
never know where to put that.
Yeah, wherever you like. There we are. So, go ahead and start in any pose that you like, meaning any comfortable seat that might be cross-legged, that to lie down and relax anytime. I'll be cueing you and using some props, but you can use any of them whenever you want. And to start, we're just going to take some time to breathe and just focus on our breath. I'm sure you've been breathing long before you came into class. In fact, every moment you're breathing, but right now we're going to really close the mouth and just notice what's going on inside. So check in with your body, notice how you feel physically from head to toe. Maybe there's some parts that feel great. Maybe there are some parts that feel not so great. Just take it all in. And to those parts that need some extra love and attention, you can send your love and attention through the breath. And think about sitting tall, relaxing shoulders down away from the ears, maybe gently engaging the upper back just to open the chest a little more deeply. And just notice that movement of the diaphragm as it pulls down to fill the lungs and pushes up to empty them. Make that a more conscious movement, really trying to fully fill the lungs on the inhale and completely empty them on the exhale. Also notice your mental state, any mental activity, your emotional state, your energy level. Just take this time to really pay attention. And set aside all thoughts of what happened before class, what will happen after class, just tuning into this moment. And when you're ready, engage your Ujjayi breath, your victorious breath. And to do that, you engage the muscles at the back of the throat as if you were saying, ha. But with the mouth closed in your vocalization. So what you'll hear is a whispery sound on the inhale and the exhale. You want to listen for that sound throughout your practice. It sends a powerful message to your parasympathetic system, just letting you know you're safe, you can relax, you can slow down. As you slow and deepen the breath, let the navel float away from the spine on the inhale as you expand the belly, and then actively draw you toward the spine on the exhale. You can engage Mula Bandha there, muscles of the pelvic floor, drawing them up and in. And you'll notice when you engage those muscles, you sit a little taller. As you engage in this conscious breath, just take a moment to think about what you'd like from your practice this morning. And if you're on your back, gently come up to a comfortable seat, and then open the eyes, and then slide your left hand under your left hip with the palm facing down, and bring your right hand down to the floor, and just let your right ear draw toward your right shoulder. And by trapping your hand there, you feel that the left shoulder is drawn down away from the ear, really opening up the left side of the neck. And you can hold right here. If you'd like to explore, you might draw chin toward the chest, maybe toward that right shoulder. You might sort of turn the head or the chin up and down. Just think about what you need here. Maybe stillness, maybe gentle movement, but whatever you do, be careful not to push any kind of opening. Just keep the breath active and allow it to happen. And we'll take one more breath cycle here. And then slowly inhale back up through center and release that left hand down to the floor. Slide the right hand under the hip. And let the left ear come toward the left shoulder. And again, choose whether you want to just keep the head just where it is, face pointing forward, or maybe move around and explore. Maybe notice how this side feels different. For me, the two sides are 100% different. It's amazing that they're in the same body. Just keeping the breath active, listening for those ujjayi breath sounds. Take one more breath cycle here. And then release a hand from under the hip. Come back up through center, rest hands on either side of the hips. And on your next inhale, bring your right arm up next to the ear. And on the exhale, slowly lower the arm as you turn the head, look across that left shoulder. And then inhale, sweep left arm up, face pointing forward again. Exhale, lower. Just continue like that, slowly moving from side to side. Inhale as you lift, keeping the breath active, still drawing the navel toward the spine with every exhale. And keeping Mula Bandha engaged. Just moving at your own pace. And the next time you bring right arm up, hold, bend the elbow, let the fingertips drop down back here. Gently draw the head toward that right shoulder without pulling on the head. And then extend the left arm and start to bring it slowly out toward vertical. And as you send your attention to that area between the left ear and the left shoulder, just notice how things change as you raise the arm. Keep listening for your ujjayi breath sounds. Just move at your own pace. Whenever you bring the arm all the way up to vertical, pause there. Take a full breath cycle. When you feel ready, start to lower the arm. Really extend the fingertips away from the torso. And look for that spot where you feel the deepest opening between the left ear and the left shoulder. Just let fingertips hover over the mat there, wherever that is. Just allowing things to open up. And then bring the back of that left hand to the base of the spine and start to roll that left shoulder. First in one direction, then in the other direction. And then slowly come back through center, lower hands down to either side, and bring head back to center. And then inhale, sweep left arm up. Exhale, bend the elbow, let fingertips drop by the ear. Gently draw the head toward that left shoulder and extend the right arm this time. And again, slowly bring it up to vertical. Really sending your attention to that area between the right ear and the right shoulder. Just noticing how that space changes as you raise the arm. Keeping Mula Bandha engaged. Whenever you come up to vertical, pause for a breath cycle and then slowly lower the arm. Look for that spot where you maximize the opening between the ear and the shoulder. Let fingertips hover over the mat there. Keep listening for your ujjayi breath sounds and then bring the back of the right hand to the base of the spine and roll the shoulder first in one direction, then in the other direction. And when you're ready, slowly lower hands down to either side and bring head back to center. And on your next inhale, bring arms up next to the ears. On the exhale, lower the arms, twist to the right. And on your next inhale, lift the arms again, lift the chin if you like. And then lower the arms, twist to the left. And just move at your own pace, alternating side to side, lifting and lowering the chin as much or as little as you like. Feeling the core gently engage as you twist from side to side, sitting tall, keeping the spine long. And the next time you twist to the right, hold there. Press firmly into that right palm, bring left hand behind the knee. You can look over that right shoulder if it's comfortable. Really actively draw shoulders down away from the ears, draw crown of the head up toward the ceiling. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the chin, look up. Exhale, draw chin to the chest. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, lower. Once more, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bring the head back to neutral, hold the torso where it is. Turn on the head, look across that left shoulder. Hold and breathe. And your next exhale, release back through center. Inhale, bring arms back up next to the ears. Exhale, lower the arms to the left this time, pressing firmly in the left palm. Your right hand behind the knee. Look over the shoulder if it's comfortable. And just notice how the side will feel different from the first side. Still drawing shoulders down, crown the head up. Noticing how the inhale draws us slightly out of the twist, and the exhale allows you to release more deeply into it. When you're ready, inhale, lift the chin up. Exhale, draw chin to the chest. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bring the head back to neutral, lift the torso where it is, and then turn the head across the right shoulder and hold and breathe. And on your next exhale, release back through center. Bring your hands to the mat in front of you and just walk yourself into a forward bend. Just come down as far as you'd like. Maybe it's a deep forward bend, maybe not. Spread fingers wide. Let the head hang. Relax the face and neck. And on the inhale, press into the palms as if you were pushing your hands away from you. On the exhale, press as if pulling them toward you. And continue like that, breathing into that core engagement. Inhaling and exhaling. 2 more rounds here. And when you're ready, walk the hands back and you can tuck your right elbow against your right shin or right knee and bring that left arm up. Reach for the ceiling. Maybe draw the hand back behind the shoulder here. Really activate the arms, spread the fingers wide. You can turn your gaze up as long as that's comfortable for the neck. And then lower that arm and go to side 2. Inhale, right arm up, spread fingers wide. Maybe draw the back of the hand toward the side wall. And then lower the arm, come back to center. And on your next inhale, bring arms back up next to the ears. Exhale, side bend to the right, bring that right hand down, reach across with the left. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, side bend to the left, reach across with the right. And again, just move with your breath rhythm. So breathing into this gentle core engagement. Try to keep some length on both sides of the body, even that underside, as if you were lifting up and over a piece of furniture maybe. Just moving with your breath rhythm. And the next time you side bend to the right, hold. And draw that left shoulder back, draw that left hip down, again, really opening up the left side of the torso, maybe turning your gaze up. And on your next exhale, point face and chest toward the mat, keep reaching with those left fingertips. Relax the face and neck, so let the head hang here as you gently twist the mid-back to invite a release of the lower back. And then inhale, draw that left shoulder up again. Look at that left palm. On the exhale, turn the head, look down at the hand on the floor as you draw elbow toward the hip. So inhale, extend the arm long and look up. Exhale as you draw the elbow down and look down. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, extending. Exhale, bending and hold here. And again, you can keep the head just where it is. Or you might like to move the head around here to explore this neck opening. Just keep the breath active. Take one more breath cycle here. And on your next inhale, extend that left arm back up overhead. Exhale, lift through center. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, lower the left hand, reach across with the right. Bring that right shoulder back, or the right hip down, let the head hang here. And on your next exhale, turn face and chest toward the mat. Keep reaching. Let the head hang here. Maybe noticing how this twist of the mid-back feels different on this side. On your next inhale, draw right shoulder up again. Look up at that right palm. On the exhale, draw elbow toward the hip and turn the head, look down at the left hand. So inhale, extend the arm, look up. Exhale, bend the elbow, look down. And we'll do that once more. Inhale, extending. Exhale, bending, and then hold here and decide whether you want to keep the head just where it is or maybe move slowly and carefully with curiosity and compassion here. And on your next inhale, extend that right arm long again. Exhale, lift through center, and then lower hands down to the knees. Bring chin to the chest, and start to slowly roll the head from side to side. So bring one ear to one shoulder, slowly come back through center, bring the other ear to the other shoulder. Decide whether you want to continue slowly rolling side to side, or maybe add a full circle, bringing chin up and head back. And if you make that full circle, be sure to go in both directions, but whatever you choose, slowly thinking about ahimsa, non-violence, non-harming. And whenever you feel about even on both sides and both directions, come back to center and we'll transition to hands and knees. And if you're like me, you might enjoy some cushioning under the knees. So we're going to start with our neck and shoulder openers. So come to tabletop with knees under hips and wrists under shoulders. And just breathe into that long spine, feeling that length between the crown of the head and the tailbone. And when you're ready, inhale, sweep that right arm up. You can follow the hand with your gaze. On the exhale, hollow out the belly, thread the arm under, bring your right cheek and right shoulder down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhaling as you lift and expand. Exhaling as you lower and contract. Inhale, 1 more time, up. And then come down to hold. And when you hold here, you can bring a prop under the head or shoulder or both, maybe a bolster, maybe you're fine right here on the mat. And you can keep the left hand just where it is, or maybe you'd like to reach across the back for the right thigh. Or another option for that left hand is to walk it overhead on the mat and to the right. And this is where I'm going to start with some hands-on adjustments. And always let me know if it doesn't feel right. You can have no adjustments, you can have all the adjustments, you can have some of the adjustments. This one will be my dragging my fingertips between your shoulder blades and down the back. And as you breathe here in this twist, you just want to see how heavy you can be on that right cheek and right shoulder. And since we'll be spending some time here, just be aware, be mindful of any changes you might feel as you spend time in the pose. Keep the breath really active here, still drawing navel toward the spine with every exhale. Bringing fresh blood to the organs as we breathe actively in a twist. And as you're spending time here, if you ever want to make adjustments and shift things around, that's absolutely fine. Always make the pose your own. Following my instructions, but knowing that nobody knows your body better than you do. When you're ready to transition out of this pose, bring left hand back in front of the face and sweep that right arm up 1 more time. And then exhale, lower it down, pause here in tabletop. And when you're ready, inhale, sweep left arm up. We do the same thing on side 2. Exhale, hollow out the belly as you thread the arm under. And we'll go 2 more times. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as you lower. Inhaling as you expand. Exhaling as you contract. And when you come down to hold, again, think about whether you'd like to use any props, whether you'd like to keep the right hand where it is, maybe reach across the back, or walk it overhead on your mat and to the left. And I'll be coming around to do adjustments again. If you notice how this side is different from side 1. It's interesting to notice in a pose like this where you're holding. You just notice where your thoughts go. See if you can keep your attention on the breath. Listening to those ujjayi breath sounds. When you're ready to move out of this pose, bring right hand back in front of the face. Inhale, sweep that left arm up once more. Exhale, lower and come back to tabletop. And now we're going to give some attention to those calf muscles. So on your next inhale, extend left leg behind you, tuck toes under on the mat. And then just rock slightly forward and back on the toes, just as much as that's comfortable. You can also micro bend and extend that left knee. And you're going to find the deepest calf opening when you really draw the heel back. And when you're ready to come to stillness, let's just take a moment in plank pose. So you can keep that right knee right down on the mat. If you'd like to build a little more heat, you can float that right knee just slightly off the mat, and you'll find it changes everything, right? You're coming into plank, you're building some heat here. Take one more breath cycle. And then lower that right knee back down to the mat if you lifted it. Bring left knee back to meet the right. Breathe here in tabletop. And when you're ready, extend right leg behind you with toes tucked under. And we'll take some time here, rolling forward and back on the toes if that feels all right. And you can also micro bend and extend that right knee. And then you can extend the leg long. You can hold right here with the knee down on the mat. If you'd like to float that left knee, you can shift into plank pose, building more heat. Really feeling that line of energy from the crown of the head to the heel. Take one more breath cycle here. And then lower that left knee if you lifted it. Bring right knee back to meet the left. Lower hips to heels. Come to prayer pose, inch fingertips forward. Create some traction with the palms and pull against it. Just let the tailbone be heavy here. Spreading fingers wide. Breathing into the back body. So you might get a lower back release by letting the tailbone come down. If it's uncomfortable behind the knee, in the knees, you can slide a prop behind the knees. That can make this pose more accessible. And then from here, walk hands over to the right. Both hands might come to the edge of the mat. You can stack hands if you want. Actively draw that left shoulder down. So breathing in that shoulder opening and that opening along the left side of the torso. And from here, walk hands back to center and over to the left. You can stack hands if you like. Actively draw the right shoulder down this time. Keep the breath active here. Keep Mula Bandha engaged, drawing muscles of the pelvic floor up and in. And then bring hands back through center. Come back up to hands and knees. And then I'm going to propose an option just because there's a really nice half stretch you can get in down dog. Normally we don't take down dog in this class. If you'd rather just do what we did before, you can alternate side to side, do that same thing that we did before. If you want to take some time in down dog, tuck toes under, lift the hips, and just let the head hang here. And for that half stretch, try bringing the right foot to the left heel. So bring the big toe to one side of the heel and the other toes on the other side, and use that right foot to encourage that left heel down. You can micro bend and extend the knee. You can get a really deep calf opening there. Again, no strain, but using that right foot, you can really encourage the heel down toward the mat. And you can take a break at any time. You can bring knees down to the mat, pause there. Let's take one more breath cycle on this side. And then bring right foot to the mat and straddle that right heel with the left foot. So the big toe on the right side, the other toes on the inside. And maybe micro bend and extend that right knee. So just using the weight of the body to help encourage this opening. More breaths in here. And then bring both feet to the mat, lower knees down to the mat, come back to tabletop, and we'll take Chakrabakasana, cat-cow. Inhale, lift head and tail, draw the navel down. Exhale, round the spine, draw the navel up, and continue like that. Just moving at your pace with your breath rhythm. So when you inhale into cow pose, think about that chest opening as the clavicles pull away from each other. When you exhale into cat pose, let the shoulder blades spread apart. Notice what your full range of motion is in the spine. Keep listening for your Ujjayi breath sounds. And the next time you exhale into your cat pose, hold and breathe, and see how fully you can relax the face and neck as you strongly engage the core. So maybe you hold right here. If you want to add a little more core challenge, you might get light in one knee and then light in the other knee. And then you might get light in the opposite hand with the opposite knee. Just think about what you want from this pose. Keep face and neck relaxed. Keep the breath smooth and steady. Take one more breath cycle here. And then inhale back to a neutral spine. Exhale, lower hips to heels. Inch fingertips forward. This time, press the backs of the hands into the mat. So palms facing up, externally rotating the shoulders. So that's the same rotation we have in down dog. Just hold and breathe here. And when you're ready, slowly walk the hands back toward the knees, come up to a seat. And we're going to transition to a seat with feet in front. So you can do that by swinging feet out to the side or maybe cross the ankles and roll over them. So we're going to start with feet hip distance apart. Plant hands behind you with fingertips pointing at the wall behind you. And we're going to get into some hip opening here. So start by crossing the right ankle over the left knee. And once you get the ankle there, You might feel like, oh my gosh, I want to walk the hands back, I need some space. Or you might feel a craving to move the hands closer to the hips to get a deeper opening in that right hip. The more you bring the torso toward that right leg, the deeper the opening you'll feel. You just want to be careful to keep this left foot flexed, right toes toward the knee to protect the knee. You can also draw that right knee a little further from the right shoulder. That changes the angle slightly. So in a hip opener, we spend time in the pose just to allow things to happen. Keeping the breath smooth and steady. Try and crown the head up, shoulders down. Listening for your ujjayi breath sounds, opening the chest here. And when you're ready, start to slowly roll toward the outside of that left foot. So you're just going to come down as far as you'd like. You're going to feel sensation in that piriformis attachment deep in the glutes there on the right side. You'll feel an opening on the outside of the right thigh. So there should be sensation, but no pain. If you feel any pain, just back out of it, come back up. Take one more breath cycle here. And then slowly come back onto the bottom of that left foot. Uncross the legs, plant right foot on the mat, and then cross left ankle over right thigh. And again, decide whether you want more space. You can walk the hands back, or maybe you want that deeper hip opening, inching the hands toward the hips. Just taking the time here, actively flexing that left foot. Maybe drawing the left knee a little further from the left shoulder. Maybe noticing how this side feels different from the first side. Listening to your ujjayi breath sounds. When you're ready, start to slowly roll to the outside of the right foot. You're only going to come down as far as you like. Keep the breath active here. Just notice what you find here. Svadhyaya is self-study in yoga, so notice what this pose has to teach you. I personally find hip openers very humbling, so I get a lot of good humility lessons there. And when you're ready, slowly roll back onto the bottom of that right foot. Uncross the legs and plant both feet at the edges of the mat. Walk your hands back, give yourself some space, and just roll the knees from side to side. Promoting the production of that synovial fluid in the joints one more time to each side. And then come back to center. We're going to come down on our backs, and before you do, I just recommend bringing all your props within reach. And when you come down on your back, just start with arms and legs long on the mat. And just notice where the back body is in contact with the mat. Send your attention to the breath. So noticing the rise and fall of the chest as you breathe. Actively drawing navel down toward the spine with every exhale. And when you feel ready, find a block, bend the knees, plant feet on the mat, and bring the block between your thighs for bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. So in bridge pose, you want the heels close enough to the hips so you can touch them with your fingertips. Or if they won't come that close, just as close as they can come. Gently pressing the block. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the hips and sweep the arms overhead. And then exhale, hollow out the belly, lower the hips almost back down to the mat as you bring the arms back down to your sides. So inhale, lifting just as high as you comfortably can. Exhale, lowering, hollowing out the belly. Just moving at your pace, peeling off from the tailbone to the top of the spine. And then lowering back down from the top vertebrae down to the tailbone. Tailbone almost comes down. And the next time you inhale and lift, hold. And you have a few options here. So you might like to hold with arms just where they are. Maybe you'd like to bring arms to your sides on the mat, or clasp hands underneath, or walk shoulders under. And you might like this active bridge, holding the hips up. You might rather bring a block under the hips for supported bridge. And you can hold that way, resting the hips on the block. So choose what you like. Breathe into it. If you're holding the hips up, try alternating between engaging the glutes and the quadriceps. You can also lift and lower heels here, either together or one at a time. Keep listening for your ujjayi breath sounds. Take one more breath cycle here. And slowly lower hips back down to the mat. Set your props aside and we'll take happy baby pose. So in happy baby pose, you bend both knees, point the bottoms of the feet toward the ceiling and reach between the knees to the outside of shins, ankles, or feet, whatever you can easily grasp. And just use the hands to gently encourage the knees down to either side of you, maybe rocking a little side to side if that feels good. Maybe drawing the tailbone more actively down toward the mat, maybe even pressing the feet or ankles into the hands and then releasing to really compress those hip flexors. Take one more breath cycle here. And when you release, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. We're going to take a hip opener very similar to what we did in a heat in our seat, but this is figure 4 pose on the back, and you can clasp hands behind that left knee. And you can circle that left knee first in one direction, then the other direction. You can also press the right elbow into the right thigh if you like. You can extend the left leg if you like. For a hamstring opening, I'm going to come around and just give you a little assist on this hip opener. Your only job is to keep the breath active here and just allow that hip opening to progress. So, let me know if it's too much. Really keep that foot flexed to protect the knee. Just notice how spending time with the pose might allow you to open that hip more deeply. You can really send a message to that right hip, just telling it it's safe, you can open up, no one's going to harm you here. So really activate the breath and really flex that foot. There you go. And with hip openers, again, I mentioned my own humility. It's really easy to feel like, gosh, why won't my hips open up? And there are very good reasons for hips to be tight. If they were really loose, we wouldn't be able to walk around. We'd be a big floppy mess, right? So you just are looking for that right balance. So you want some tightness, some tautness in your hips, but not so much that your lower back takes a hit. So really be patient. Yeah, hips are a great place to practice patience and love. It's like we all need, right? Lots of patience. Whenever you're ready, slowly lower that foot back down. Uncross the legs. And then you can cross left ankle over right knee. So we'll do the same thing on this side, starting by clasping hands behind that right knee, maybe taking small circles, first in one direction, then the other direction with that knee. And then maybe press the left elbow to that left thigh if you want to add that. Just use the hands to gently encourage the right knee and left ankle toward the chest. And maybe you want to extend the right leg for a hamstring opening. But really activate the breath here. Maybe notice how the left hip feels different from the right. Just practice lots of patience. And let that left hip know you have plenty of time to open up. I'm not going to rush anything. I remember I used to take a very early morning yoga class with this woman who would go into pigeon pose, and her shin was just completely parallel to the top of the mat. She flopped right down. And after many months, one day I asked her, I said, have you always been able to do that? And she said, yeah, when I was a kid, I used to wake up and find my leg under my pillow like this. I can't sleep like this. And I thought, well, that's pretty different. Yeah. So it's not a contest. It's just a big experiment, right? It's just all exploration. And as long as you keep the breath active, you really pay attention. It's safe to explore. When you're ready to release here, uncross the legs and bring your hands to your kneecaps. And you can put thumbs together if you like. And on the exhale, bend the elbows, draw knees into the chest. On the inhale, extend the arms long. So exhale, bending, inhale, extending, just rocking top to bottom on the sacrum here. Just noticing how it feels to shift the weight around on the lower back. And the next time you extend your arms long, let feet float down to the mat. Bring hands to either side of you and lift yourself up to a seat. I'm just going to show you how to use the props for this next pose. So if you have a shorter, fatter bolster, slide that under the knees, either standing up like this or down flat. And then bring a block to the top of your mat for your head to rest on. And then take this longer, skinnier bolster and bring it behind the heart. And you're going to come down and rest your head on the block and open arms out to the side. And if you'd like anything under your hands, it's really icy on this floor. If that would help you relax, I could bring towels or blocks to go under your hands. Just let me know. Sue, would you like something under your hands? You're good. Wow. Just a second. And then just open the arms. Would you like something under your hands? How about you? Okay. That's exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, it's behind that heart. So you really got your chest lifted. So the goal here is just to relax into this deep chest opening. This pose counters a lot of our daily activities like driving and working at a computer, or even sitting at the table and eating. Like we're always curling forward, right, and closing in. In this pose, we can open and expand. And I'm going to come around to do adjustments. I'm going to press on your shoulders to gently open the chest. I'm going to cradle your head in my hands, lengthen your neck, and gently turn your head from side to side. And as with all the adjustments, if it doesn't feel right, please let me know. Just keep the breath really active here. And allow things to open up. Again, really filling the lungs with the inhale, really fully emptying them with the exhale. Just allowing your body to be soft and heavy here, surrendering to gravity. Still actively drawing navel toward the spine with every exhale. So as you breathe here, start to think about releasing out of this pose. When you feel ready, bring hands to either side of you. Gently lift yourself up just enough to slide your props out of the way. And then come back down on your back. And just take a few breaths here to absorb the effects of that sequence. Just notice how your body feels. Notice how it feels to be back on that firm surface of the mat. Whenever you feel ready to move again, bring all four limbs up to the vertical. So bring arms and legs up. And when you're ready, exhale, lower right arm and left leg. And you don't have to worry about right and left, just make it opposite arm, opposite leg. And then inhale, bring them back up to vertical. Exhale, lower left arm and right leg. And then come back up to vertical and just continue alternating side to side. And let your focus be on the lower back. Think about really maintaining that connection between the lower back and the mat or the blanket, whatever it's touching. So if you feel like you're losing that connection, just don't bring the leg down so far. The more you lower the leg, the more you challenge your core strength. And we'll go one more time to each side. And from here, when you feel even on both sides, find your longer, skinnier bolster and bring it between the thighs and ankles with feet lifted off the mat. And then open arms to a low T position, palms facing down or up as you prefer. And when you're ready, inhale, center, exhale, look over left shoulder as you roll knees to the right. And then slowly inhale back through center and exhale, look over right shoulder, rolling knees to the left, and continue like that from side to side. So you might like a really gentle option here, keeping knees close into the chest and just taking shallow rolls from side to side. That'll really put the focus on the lower back massage. Or if you'd like to build more heat here, you can bring these really close to the floor, really challenging your core strength. Just think about what you need in your practice right now on this morning. And keep turning the head in the opposite direction from where the knees are lowering, just a slow, conscious movement. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. And the next time you look over left shoulder and roll knees to the right, bring them all the way down to the floor and just relax here. So let that left shoulder be heavy. Think about every breath cycle, bringing more space between the left hip and the left shoulder. And I'm going to come around to facilitate that lengthening by pressing on the hip and shoulder. And you just want to spend time here relaxing. And breathing actively in a twist, it stimulates the immune system, promotes good digestion. slowly roll back through center and go to side two. So bring knees to the other side, turn the head, look across the other shoulder. Yeah, just surrender to gravity, just notice how it feels to sink in here. Breathe into that length from the torso, that distance between the hip and the shoulder. Just allowing things to open up. Listening for your ujjayi breath sounds. Maybe notice how the twist feels different on this side. When you feel ready, slowly come back to center and then set your bolster aside. And think about how you want to spend time in inversion. So you have some options here in this room. You could slide your mat over so that you could bring legs up the wall. If you'd rather stay where you are in the room, you can find a block, slide it under the hips, and either keep feet down on the mat in supported bridge, set to Bandhasana, or bring legs overhead for Viparita Karate. And with either of those, you can bring arms up as well. So when you get into your inversion, just notice how it feels to change the circulation. Notice that pressure in the head and in the chest, and just breathe into it. So yeah, just resting the legs against the wall to just make it as passive as it can be. Just relax the legs as much as you can. So inversions are said to be very good for relieving anxiety. They're also great to do after you get off an airplane. And if legs are elevated and you'd like to, you can point and flex the feet here. You can roll the ankles first in one direction, then the other direction. You can curl the toes, draw toes back toward the face. You can wiggle the toes, fan out the toes. You can open and close fists, spreading fingers wide. And you can rotate the wrists first in one direction, and then the other direction. And as you breathe here, think about whether there's any final pose that your body craves before you rest in Shavasana. And you can stay in your inversion for as long as you like. Whenever you feel ready, you can lower feet down to the mat. And when you're ready to rest, use any props that you like to feel more comfortable. Maybe open a blanket over you, maybe open a blanket under you, maybe use a bolster under the knees, maybe bring a towel over the eyes, whatever it might be that would make you feel more comfortable and relaxed. Use any props you like. And when you rest in Shavasana, let your ujjayi breath practice go. Let all effort of any kind go. Just allow the limbs to be soft and heavy on the mat or on a prop. And I'm going to offer one more adjustment. I'm going to grasp ankles and gently pull your legs from side to side. If you'd rather rest without being touched, just wave me off when I get there. And as you breathe here, take the time to check in with your body again, just the way you did at the beginning of class. Just notice how things feel. Notice your emotional state, notice your mental activity, just notice how things feel at the end of your practice. You can also take a moment here, to think back to what it was you wanted from your practice this morning. When you feel ready, start to bring gentle movement back to hands and feet. You can open and close fists, point and flex the feet, roll wrists and ankles. Gently roll the head from side to side. And when you're ready, roll to one side and just take some time there to prepare to come back to a comfortable seat. When you come back to your seat, sit tall and close the eyes. I invite you to silently repeat the following to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I live with ease. The light in me salutes the light in you. Namaste. Thanks for coming, everybody. Remember to have plenty of water. Have a wonderful day. And if you have questions or comments, let me know. And I'm glad you're Karen. I'm going to stop the recording now. See you next time.